Aaron Dragonsong, and this is an eLOVEation email video in the Exploring Senses series. This one is called Unveiling the Surprising First 5D Sense. It's not what you think it will be. For the last several emails, we've been digging deep into our psychic toolboxes, dusting off our dormant senses and rediscovering the magic within us. Looking at our world with fresh eyes, feeling the energies around us more tangibly, and hearing the whispers of the universe in ways we might not have before. I hope you're enjoying this experience and the results. I have to confess something, though. There was a reason I started this deep dive into our senses, beyond just reigniting our magical prowess and connection and psychic abilities and all of that. A while back, I began to notice something curious, an incredible shift in my perceptions. And it wasn't just me. I've been asking around, and it seems a lot of people are actually experiencing this. So it seems likely that you might soon notice this too, if you haven't already, which is greater perception of the 5D realm. The surprising thing is, it's not an enhancement of vision or intuition or the senses that are more commonly associated with higher realms. Instead, it's showing up with a sense that often goes overlooked, the sense of smell. I know it's odd. Of all the senses to tune into the 5D reality, it seems bizarre that the first sense that seems to shift and start to align with the 5D frequency is the olfactory sense. I wasn't even sure about it until others confirmed that they were having similar experiences. This is very unexpected, so I wanted to make sure you're aware of it. This way, you can more easily notice if this is starting to happen for you too. I actually started this whole sensory exploration to lead us up to this strange yet intriguing discovery, so there was a method to my madness. Are you ready to explore how our sense of smell is leading the way to the 5D frequency? Let's dive in with a few examples. I would like to share how I've been noticing it showing up in my life. As I said, many people are finding that the sense of smell is becoming more perceptive to things that aren't in the physical reality around us, but in the 5D reality. This began for my spouse and me a few years ago. We'd always been somewhat alert to the presence of spirits, but suddenly we became much more sensitive to it. We could smell them. That was new and surprising. And the scents are often associated with that person's life. Let me give you just a few examples. My father, who was a smoker, brings with him the smell of tobacco smoke when he visits, for better or worse. At least I know when he's around. My birth son, who rode motorcycles, arrives with the scent of hot metal. Our beloved dog, 2 days after her passing, woke me up in the night with her unique stinky dog smell so strong. It was as if she were stuffed right up in my nose. And she wasn't even allowed in the bedroom when she was alive. I'm sure she loved that newfound freedom. An elderly woman's spirit passing through our house. We don't know why, but this happens a lot. People on the way out of this world pass through our property. We think there might be a portal here, but we don't know why. Anyway, this elderly woman, frequently actually, elderly women come through with a fragrance of old perfume. An elderly man passing through a while ago brought the smell of mothballs with him. We also notice that our noses are perceiving more than the spirits of the dead. They're able to sense other beings as well. Higher frequency beings often bring pleasant aromas like flowers, or once it was bubblegum. Entities with negative intentions have unpleasant odors that come along with them. And yes, some of the more malevolent entities are associated with that infamous rotten egg smell of sulfur. And just so you know, I never actually believed in that kind of thing until I started experiencing it myself. Something I've shared with my coven members, and still not sure if I should share it more publicly, but there's more information on how that's showing up and why and what's going on. At any rate, I could share with you a family story about this that's quite stunning. I think I will. Let's call it Haunting Aromas from the Past. So This is not something that I personally experienced. I was too young at the time, but there's a lot of stories in my family and discussion about this. My father told me a lot of stories about this. My paternal grandmother's house, unfortunately, had a very dramatic and extremely nasty resident entity or energy. For instance, one time everyone heard this great bang come from the basement. And when they all rushed down to see what was going on, they discovered that the wash tub, which was stored at the opposite end of the basement, had been thrown at the furnace so forcefully that furnace and tub were both dented. There are many such stories of this entity, which I'd always assumed was a poltergeist, except for the fact that it continued even when the house was empty. After my grandmother's passing, the house was rented out for a while. This didn't work out so well. People would not stay in that house long, usually not even a month. One couple moved in and moved out in the middle of that very night. So my father used to go over after work and spend some time there to make sure the house was okay and keep it looking lived in. He tells of the last night he did this. He was watching the news on TV in the living room when he noticed a smell almost creeping down the stairs from the bedrooms. It filled the house with such an overpowering and horrific odor that it raised instant terrified dread in him. He bolted out of that place so fast, he didn't even pause to turn off the TV or even close the door. That was the last time he told me he set foot in the house, except for one time when a priest friend of his came over to do an exorcism. But I think that's a cautionary tale for another day. In the next email, we'll explore the surprising reason why your nose might lead the way into 5D. By the way, I would love to hear from you. What are you noticing as we move more into the 5D realm? Are you experiencing any of these experiences? If that's a little redundant, sorry. Are you experiencing the smells that are giving you insights into other things than you can see or hear with your ordinary physical senses? I'd love to invite you to share your experiences, and let's enjoy and explore this fascinating journey together. For the next piece in the series, I reveal why the sense of smell should launch us into 5D. So for that one, please join our eLOVEation email community with the link below. It's at wicca-spirituality.com/eLOVEation.html. eLOVEation is spelled differently, so check the link. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Blessed be.